Okay, in this example, we want to use our rules for exponents to simplify these expressions and make sure we write all our answers with positive exponents. So for part A, that rule when you're multiplying two things together with like bases, you want to add the exponents. So we'll have x to the 7 plus 3, which is x to the 10. Okay, I'm not going to write that step anymore where you just add your exponents together. Look at part B. Excuse me, the same thing, but you're dividing two things with like bases. I'll write this one more time. The bases like, they're both y's, so you take the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. Y to the 5 over y to the 3 is y to the 5 minus 3, which is y squared. Okay. All right, look at part C. Part C deals with rules for negative exponents. This negative exponent is in the denominator. So your rule for negative exponents, first of all, if it's a negative exponent in the numerator, it'll flip to the denominator and the exponent will become positive. But if it's negative in the denominator, what happens is it flips to the numerator and that exponent becomes positive. So we really didn't have any other steps to do there. That one's pretty easy. Alright, part D. It's pretty important you can see the difference between part D and part A. Part A, there's these two bases. They're like, though, an x and an x, and they have two different exponents, a 7 and a 3. But if you look at part D, there's only one base there. See the little b right there? Alright, just the one base. So, there's one base raised to an exponent 4, raised to another exponent 2. What you do in that case is you take 4 times 2 for those exponents. You have to multiply them together. It's b to the 8. It's not b to the 6, because that's an 8. Okay, if you have one base raised to an exponent and then that's raised to another power, you multiply those exponents. Alright, let's jump down here to part E. Part E, we've got an x and a y, two different bases. They're inside the parentheses multiplied together with another exponent on the outside. Some of these are positive, some of the exponents are negative. So what I'm going to do first is take that negative 4 exponent and bring it in on both of those exponents. And the rule you have to use is to multiply. Alright, so actually it looks like this. Normally we don't write this step, but we can write it for now since we're sort of reviewing our rules for exponents. That negative 4 exponent is going to come in on both of those things. Alright, so now with the x squared, if that's raised to the negative 4, the rule says to multiply those exponents together. You'll get negative 8. Same with the y. Oops. You multiply those together, you get a positive 12. Now, our direction said to make sure that you write your answer using positive exponents. My y squared is already positive. Let's keep it there. It's in the numerator. But that x to the negative 8, it's negative. There's nothing underneath it right now, so it's in my numerator. But since it's a negative exponent, it has to flip to the denominator, and that exponent becomes positive. This is your answer. Now, this step, when we get really good at doing our exponents, we don't have to write that step. I just sort of wrote it there for emphasis. Okay, look at part F. Part F, I have some things on the inside. All the exponents are positive though, and I do have an exponent on the outside. So I'm going to skip this first step that I did in the last one, everything in green there. And what I'm going to do is take that exponent of 3 and put it inside, raise everything on the inside of these parentheses to the third power. Alright, so I'll have 2 to the third, which is 8. I will have a to the third, and I have b squared to the third power. You have to multiply those exponents together. B squared, and the whole thing is raised to the third power. 2 times 3 is 6. Alright, let's do that on the bottom. 3 cubed is 27. Alright, then I'll have c cubed, and that is cubed. So the 3 times the 3 is a 9. Alright, and that's your answer. I don't have anything else to simplify. All of my exponents are positive. Those coefficients don't have any factors in common. Alright, I have an a and a b on top and a c in the denominator. So that's the answer. Let's look at this last example. Alright, here we are. Alright, part G. Had to leave some space down there. Okay, let's do this one. Part G. I don't know how those blue lines got there. Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do, if you have a bunch of stuff like this inside your parentheses, you might have a's on top, a's on the bottom, b's on top and bottom. Some of these exponents are positive, some of them are negative. First thing I want to do is try and reduce these numbers down if possible. With the 15 and the 5, those will cancel. You have 1 on the bottom, 3 on top. Now, you could simplify everything on the inside, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is raise everything that's inside those parentheses to the negative third power. So that 3 has to be raised to the negative 3. My a to the negative 2 raised to the negative 3. Multiply those exponents, you get a6. Same with the b. 3 times negative 3 gives me negative 9 on my b in the numerator. Alright, one of the negative 3 is going to be a 1. I'm not going to write that. A to the 0 raised to the negative 3 is still a to the 0. And then my b in the denominator, negative 5 exponent raised to a negative 3 exponent. When you multiply them, you get positive 15. Now, we've got to clean this up. The next thing I'm going to do is switch everything around to make sure everything has a positive exponent. I'm going to go systematically right across my numerator. 3 to the negative 3 power. If it's a negative exponent, it's going to switch places and the exponent becomes positive. My a6, my a6 is already positive, so it's going to stay on top, a to the 6. And my b, negative 9 in the numerator, jumps down below. Alright? Then in the denominator, the a to the 0 is just 1. We won't write it. The b15 is still down there. It's already positive. Okay, almost done. All of my a's are done. Let's leave this a6 on top. It's the only thing up there. 3 cubed down below is 27. Okay, look at my b's. I've got b to the 15 times b to the 9. They're both in the denominator positive, so I'm going to stay there. And the rule is that you add those together. What is that, 24? B to the 24. This is your answer. If you see, there's nothing else that we can simplify inside there. And all my exponents are positive. So we're done.